think crisis springs up on people when they don't expect it. Then when that crisis sets in and they don't have anybody else to talk to, I've heard a lot of people say, you know, I never thought it would come to this.
The emotional crisis could be waiting around the corner that you don't know about. Could be your own crisis, could be someone you're close to, could be someone you work with.
It takes many different forms, and they're all very serious. You know, the emotions and the feelings are very high, and the confusion is very high, and they just need someone to listen to them and sort it out and think it through with them.
A crisis is generally when someone's problems and the things that are going on for them that they have to cope with outweigh their ability to cope. And so to get out of the crisis, they either have to find a way to alleviate the pain that's going on for them and the things that they're dealing with, or up their coping mechanisms, or find different ones that'll be more effective.
A crisis can last from anywhere from a few days to a couple weeks, but the good news is that it doesn't last forever.
I think that people are comfortable sharing this information with complete strangers simply by the fact that we have no idea who they are, and so we're not going to be judging them.
This agency caters to everybody. It's not just certain individuals, it's every walk of life.
We get a lot of calls from people who are stressed out about what's going on for them at work or school. So these are working professionals and students who might seem to have it all together, but on the inside they're really struggling. It's really common that we'll get calls from parents whose kids have suggested that they might be suicidal. We also receive calls about domestic violence, spousal abuse, as well as elder abuse.
But we also get families who come in who, you know, seemingly on the outside look like everything is perfect, but they're struggling.
Any age, any socioeconomic status, they all call the distress line.
There's been times in my life when I've needed someone to talk to, and that's been there for me. And without it, I can't imagine what I would have done.
We do hear a lot of stories that can be really heart-wrenching.
Suicide is actually a major killer of men my age, men who might have a family and a good job and everything on the outside going for them, and yet the pressure is just too much for them.
Hello, distress line.
When you first pick up the calls, it's usually pretty frantic. You know, the people are in a state where, you know, they're just all over the place and they just need to be focused.
What was it that made you pick up the phone today?
So that's what we try to do, is focus on the things that they need to attend to immediately to get their life in more of a stable position. Going through that process, non-judgmentally, at the end of the call, they feel power in that and they feel much better and they know what steps they need to take.
My very first distress line call that I took as a volunteer was from an individual who was really, really struggling at the time. They had wanted the support. They were looking for someone or something to help them through at that time. That person said to me, you know, I don't think that I would have made it through today without this line. And so whenever I, you know, think about what we do and what we offer, I think about that call. And I know that there are phone calls like that being answered every day.
The emotional crisis in our community is something that we need to be paying attention to, and we need to be aware of resources that are there.
Without the distress line, these people wouldn't have another place to call, and who knows what would happen to them if they weren't able to reach out.
If we had the opportunity, if the funding was available, certainly the distress line program itself has the opportunity to do so much more for the community. I think there would be a huge loss in the community if the support network didn't exist.
We do have to put callers on hold, so if we're able to put more effort into recruiting, supporting, and maintaining more volunteers, and have more people working the lines, then I think we would have to put people on hold less frequently.
I love the dedication of the people in this organization. I feel that they deserve our support.
With the amount of people that we serve every year, there are people who are hurting out there who need a service like this to provide them the support and the space to really just tell their story. I don't think a lot of people realize how many people will access a line like this, and it really could be anyone at any time. I've heard of many callers saying that the impact that that phone call has had on them has been big.
We're not able to change what's going on for people in their lives, and they still will have those struggles, but what we are able to do is empower them and give them the hope that they need.
I definitely think that there's hope overall and that there's a lot that we could do to help people in need.
I think the support network is absolutely essential. I just can't see Edmonton not having that type of agency available to people that really need it.
I think it's really important for the community to care about the people that receive our service, because it really could happen to anybody, and even though you and no one that you care about needs it right now, they can need it at any time. And because we're an anonymous and confidential service, anyone that you know could be accessing our line.
The support network is a place of hope. It's a place to go to when you're in crisis, when things are out of balance.
I think that the hope that we instill in people is huge and is one of those things where I don't know if you can ever measure it, but you know, if you can talk to any distress line volunteer and you'll hear that there's those hope in those callers as well.